We have something exciting happening this weekend. We love our cricket, and the domestic T20 Cup competition kicks off on Sunday. Matches will be at Harare Sports Club and Old Hararians. 6 teams, including 5 local franchises, will take part alongside the visiting English county side, Durham. And joining me as we build up to that domestic T20 competition as a man who has been impressing us, especially over the last couple of years, whether it's in the yellow of the Chevrons in the T20 format or the red in the ODIs. He is arguably one of the best bowlers Zimbabwe has right now. Recently in Bangladesh for the Bangladesh Premier League, as well as the United Emirates, where he featured alongside his national teammate Sikandar Raza for the Dubai Capitals in the International League T20 tournament, which was played there. I'm talking about none other than Richard Ngarava. Richard, good morning, and it's good to have you here on Morning Rush. Welcome back. I know you were globetrotting at one point. You were in Bangladesh, you were in the UAE, you're back home ahead of that domestic T20 Cup for the Eagles. But just talking about your experience, obviously, playing in Bangladesh and the UAE, what was that like for you?
Well, normally well, thanks, Mr. Teach, but yeah, normally cricket is cricket wherever you go, but it's just that the pressure will be a bit high as you move around the leagues, and that's exactly what we work hard for. And yeah, getting to have that sort of experience to be playing around another international cricketers, it's quite big, and those are the things you are looking for. They always say you can't buy experience in a supermarket, and definitely as you move around those leagues, you're sort of like loading experience. So that obviously when you come back, you can also feed to the youngsters, so that they can go well throughout their careers or something.
I remember, I think when you made your T20 debut, I think it was around 2019, I think a lot of the focus was just, we finally have a decent left arm seamer. But, you know, when you look at the time that has passed between then and now, you've actually worked your way, not just being, you know, a decent option, but a very good option for Zimbabwe, but also looking at your performance in T20 internationals, one of the better players, especially over the last years in that format. You know, what do you put that down to? Like, you know, since you made your debut and obviously now getting opportunities to play franchise cricket in the T20 format around the globe.
Well, I'm one person who gets to learn the sport by just watching other players do well, and also listen to what they say at some point. And this goes back to what Raza said in one of the meetings, and I'm still going through the phase or the statement he said. He actually said cricket is gonna teach you a lesson. It's not only cricket, but like every sport is gonna teach you a lesson first before you start achieving whatever, or before you start getting awards. And yeah, like you said, Singapore was there. It was just the start of the career, start of the T20 career, like you said. But as you go on, you learn quite a lot of things, and you adjust to a lot of things, and you get your confidence better. Up to now, up to date, and I can safely say to you, I haven't started yet. I can safely say I haven't started yet, and there's actually more youngsters coming up throughout the journey, which is you see a lot of difference in the next coming 4 years, maybe. Yeah.
All right, 59 wickets in T20 international cricket during that period. I think just 3 shy of Chandai Chatara, who's leading that wicket shot. And you highlighted that message from Raza in the dressing room about lessons. You know, and that's a very good return, you know, for a period of about 5 years. What are some of the lessons that you have picked up on that have helped you improve and grow into the player that we see now?
Well, if I'm to say a lot, I'll be lying, but this is all through God's ways. I've always tried my best to be like the best bowler in the country or in the world, but without God, without the Almighty, I wouldn't have been here. But yeah, definitely on the side of lessons, there's quite a lot to learn There's quite a lot to learn, and there's quite a lot of discipline in there also. Those are the two things, probably discipline and just trying to work as hard as you can, but working smart as well. Those are the two things I would say I learned throughout the whole time and everything. But overall, I would just say, just having that positive mind, that's like the biggest thing which can take you far as a sportsman. As soon as you lose that, you're done.
All right, on Sunday, the domestic T20 Cup gets underway. Obviously, you're coming back from Bangladesh and the UAE. How much confidence do you have that, maybe what you talked about, just walking into those dressing rooms with other international players and then coming back to a domestic competition for your Eagles, who are the holders of the cup? How much confidence does that give you in terms of how you can contribute to the team possibly retaining your T20 title?
Well, we do have history as Eagles, and it's almost every year we're winning a trophy of white ball cricket, and we're just trying to maintain that as Eagles. Well, T20, they say it's more of a gamble. You never know where the game is going at any given time, but I definitely back the boys, especially the Eagles boys. But yeah, obviously all the best to the other teams. But yeah, it'll be nice to be walking onto the field. We call it the Gomba. That's our Gomba. That's our home of cricket, Harare Sports Club, and we also have some night games there. It'll be really nice.
Yeah,
checking on.
Speaking about that, night games, I think we saw them introduced in last year when we had the Zim Afro T10, and this time around, outside of those night games, we also have a county side in Durham coming through and playing. What does that say to you about where our game is going when we see such developments happening?
Well, getting to play Durham, they're quite an experienced side, and they're doing their preseason stuff as well to sort of like get their season kick-starting in the UK. Getting a couple guys to come through and sort of like share or even play with the guys in Zim, it sort of like helps also some of the youngsters who are looking to knock the door for the international. You never know, a guy might score runs, a guy might take wickets and get picked in the national team or something. Which is what we're looking forward to do as a nation, or I would say as a senior player, looking at youngsters and trying to get them to be better at what they do. So getting Durham here, it's sort of like an eye opener and a door knocking for some of the youngsters.
All right, and I know during your short international but productive international career, we've gotten used to seeing the Cobra celebration whenever you pick up a wicket. I just want to ask you, like, as we go into this domestic T20 Cup, how many times are we going to see that Cobra celebration when wickets tumble?
Well, you will get to see it, but yeah, we actually worked on something else, which is not the Cobra. The Cobra is now getting out of the way because it's been there for 3 years. Yeah. Yeah, so there's actually something new which is coming.
So we're going to see it debut during this domestic T20 Cup?
Yeah, definitely. You'll see some of the Cobra. But yeah,
this is what happens when you're performing so well. Your celebration quickly gets old. You decide, you know what, this one's tired. I've just been doing it way too much. Let me switch it up. So it speaks to the success that you've enjoyed. But one thing that I also want to talk to you about, it's an aspect of your game that hasn't really been talked about, and that has been the batting. I've seen it primarily with the national team when we've been in difficult situations and you've come on as a tail ender and people are just expecting us to just, fold our bags and pack up and go, and you put up a decent knock. And is that something that you've been working on, or that you are deliberate about to make sure that outside of your brilliant left arm swing, you also complement that with a decent knock at the tail end?
Well, this is all a journey, like I said earlier. And to be fair, I started off as an opening batter.
Oh, really?
When I was a youngster. Yeah.
When was that? Was that in school?
Yeah, that was in school, back in school, Chipembere Primary School. And yeah, then I got this coach who changed me to become a bowler. And I started enjoying bowling more than batting. But yeah, the more I take time practicing my batting, the more it becomes better and better and better. that's also the same words which came from Raza. Raza is a big brother of mine, and I'm free to ask any questions if I need to learn anything. So, getting on to some of the few knocks I get to go around, or when the team is in trouble, something like that. For me, this is already normal in terms of me putting in the yards, you know, in the nets or practice session, or even doing extra betting to sort of like get my betting better. Because also you're putting value into your name also, to sort of like tell yourself, okay, I'm not only there to bowl, I'm also there to sort of like contribute with the runs. You never know, you might walk into the field and the team is needing 30 runs or something. You might be that man to raise your hand and say, okay, I want to take the team home.
Right. Before I let you go, obviously, you've mentioned Raza a couple of times. I can sense that there's a good relationship there. I remember seeing a video on social media of him welcoming you when you arrived at the Dubai Capitals, in terms of that influence, not just for you, but around that whole Chevrons dressing room, and maybe even in Zimbabwean cricket generally. How important has it been to see somebody that you share a dressing room with have so much success, and not just at international level, but then break through into so many of the big T20 franchise leagues?
It's such a big thing. It's such a big thing, and not only to me, but like to everyone else who's watching. And I'm so privileged to be around him and sharing a dressing room with such a guy who's on top of the world at the moment. And you can only take lessons from that. And I've been mentioning Raz, but like it's not only him, but like he's the top man I really get along with. There's also Blessing Muzarabani. But like sharing the dressing room and getting a little bit of information from him, it has been an uplifting in my career, and I've learned quite a lot from him. Not only on the field, to be fair with you, it's also off the field. He's one guy who's always asking me to go and buy coffee or something. And
so it's beyond just playing.
Yeah, it's beyond just playing. Yeah, on any day I can actually go to his son and I tell him, hey, you need to bowl like this. And he say, no, I can't bowl like that. And he's also doing the Cobra celebration. I'm always telling him not to do it. But,
is that why you're changing the celebration now?
Yeah, because it's taken already. But like it's a big relationship between me and Raz, and it didn't start now. It started way before, and I've seen Raz from way before, like 5-6 years ago. How it started, how it went, how he got through the injury he had when he had the shoulder injury, shoulder surgery, and it's actually been a journey on his side, an emotional one, but I've been able to pick one or two. Never give up. You keep going up until you make it.
Absolutely fantastic. That is Zimbabwe fast bowler Richard Ngarava joining us on a Morning Rush this morning as we build up to the domestic T20 competition. It gets underway this Sunday. Matches at Old Hararians and Harare Sports. So just quickly, Eagles, who are they playing in their opening game on Sunday?
I'm not pretty sure. It must be Durham.
Durham,
I'm not pretty sure.
That's going to be a big game. But action, we'll have games at 9:30, games at 1:30, and then under lights at 6:30. Entry will be free. So if you want to catch Raza and all our beloved Zimbabwe cricketers, as well as the visiting English county side Durham, make sure you make your way. We'll be posting on our social media handles. You can check for that throughout the days and give you the full fixture update of when you can see your favorite team playing. But Richie, thank you very much for joining us, and all the best in the domestic T20. And of course, as you continue to grow in your career, I think your success is Zimbabwe's success, and as fans, we'll be cheering you guys all the way.
Thank you, Mr. Teach.
Konapo, ipapo pa ZTN Prime, DSTV channel 294.